So hello guys, welcome sa ating MAS integration class. So our first topic for this subject is about basic concepts in management accounting and cost concept. So in this video lecture, pag-uusapan natin itong dalawang introductory topics. Okay, so without further ado, so what is management accounting? Pag sinabi po natin management accounting, it is the process of identifying, measuring, accumulating, analyzing, preparing, interpreting, and communicating the information that helps managers fulfill organizational objectives. So basically, as an accountant, there are many fields, okay, or there are many areas na pwede po tayo mag-work. Pwede kang sa financial accounting, sa taxation, sa auditing. So those field of work ay isa sa mga bagay na pwede po natin pasukin as an accountant. But aside from those, we can also be part, okay, in the management area wherein we help the managers in identifying areas need for improvement and as well as giving recommendations on how to solve those issues, okay, or concerns by the managers. Ang tawag natin doon, when we help the managers, okay po, ay management accounting. Okay? So, ang tawag natin sa mga accountant that are in the area or field of management accounting, ang tawag sa kanila ay management accountant. Okay? Pag sinabi natin management accountant, a person who provides financial data and advice to a company for use in the organization and development of its business. So, just to give you a little bit of a case or a scenario, okay, bakit nagkaroon ng management accountant? Alam po natin that businesses, okay po, businesses are run by the management. Okay? So, sila po yung responsible, okay po, for the operations so that they could achieve their goals and objectives. And kadalasan po, ang objectives or goals ng management ay to earn profit, or to minimize cost. Yeah. Now, there are some cases wherein the management is not able, okay po, to interpret, okay, not able to interpret or not able to gather or address some issues in the businesses, and therefore they need okay, specialization, okay po, that only the accountants can give, okay po. So because of these, okay, issues, okay, na mahirap i-interpret or nahirapan si management na malaman, okay, yung mga areas na kailangan nilang i-improve, they are now seeking, okay, the advice or the works of the management, okay, management accountants. So dito pumapasok yung role po natin. So as management accountants, okay, etong area na to, okay po, tayong nagsusolusyon. Okay, we solve this by what? Based sa definition, sabi niya dito, we are trying to identify, we also try to measure, and we accumulate data. Okay? And after we accumulate the data, we analyze them, okay? And we prepare them, and we also interpret those data. Okay? After analyzing, okay, itong mga to, tayo yung gagawa niyan. We address, we interpret, we gather data. Okay po. We can make conclusions and recommendations. Okay, yung conclusions and recommendations na yan, tayo yung magbibigay kay management. Okay po. So, ang role natin basically as a management accountant is we are just trying to identify issues, okay, problems in the business that could help, okay po, the management in their operations. Okay po. So, ang implementation na kay management pa din. Okay po. Pero yung pag-address doon sa issue ay tayo yung may responsible. So, ngayon, pagdating naman dito sa goals and objectives, to earn profit and minimize cost, tayo ba ang may responsible na ma-achieve itong mga to? The answer is no. Okay po. But our role is very crucial to realize these goals and objectives. It is crucial because we are giving recommendations to management how to achieve this. But the main responsibility, okay po, to achieve these goals and objectives ay na kay management pa din. Okay? So, naiintindihan po natin, no? So, basically, the management accountant serves as a bridge. Okay po? Or serves as, tama, bridge, okay, to achieve this. Pero yung pag-drive, okay po, ng operation ng business na kay management pa din. So, yun po yung ibig sabihin po ng management accountant. Okay? So, yun lamang po yung pinaka-overview ng management accounting and the roles of management accountant in the world of management accounting or MS, Management Advisory Services. Okay, now punta naman tayo doon sa functions and objectives ng management accounting. Okay, so functions and or objectives of management accounting. So, meron po tayong 3, okay po, main role. So, the basic function ng management accounting is to assist, okay po, yung management in performing its functions effectively. Gaya po ng nabanggit po natin dito. Okay, yun basically yung function po natin. Pero ano yung mga areas na to? Okay po, there are 3. Number 1, okay po, our function is to assist in planning. Number 2, for organizing. And number 3 is for controlling. Pag sinabi po nating planning, okay po, it involves yung pag-set, okay, of immediate and as well as yung long range goals. Ayan. Okay, for the organization. And under planning also, ang ginagawa po natin dito is we are also predicting yung mga future conditions. Predicting future conditions na ine-expect po natin na pwedeng mangyari. Okay? And under planning, we also consider yung mga different means and strategies. Okay po? So, yung mga strategies to address yung mga future conditions na ma-identify po natin. Okay? Pero yung mga strategies na yon, it should align doon sa goals and objective ng management. And under planning also, we are deciding which strategy should be used to attain such goal. So basically, no, kung nakikita po natin, si planning, dito papasok yung pag-set ng objective. Okay po. Nag-work po siya ganito. Setting of objective. Okay. And identifying problems. And then once the problem is identified, we create solutions. Yun yung mga strategies. Pero yung solution na yan, marami. And doon sa fourth one, under planning pa din, is we select the best solution to address the problem so that we can achieve this objective. So, nakikita nyo po yung cycle under planning. So, under planning, we set objectives as well as the long-range goals. And then, we identify the problem to address, we identify the problem that could hinder us achieving our objectives. Okay? And then, once the problem is identified, we create solutions. Okay? And then, from those solutions that we created, we are going to select what is the best option. Okay? And yung best option doon, basically, ang magiging measurement natin doon is dyan papasok yung concept ng cost and benefit. Okay? What solution could give us a lower cost or what solution could give. And yung next function ng management accountant is yung organizing. Or dito din papasok yung role of directing and motivating. So dito, ang tinutukoy lang po ng function na to is we help the management oversee. Okay po. Yung day-to-day operation ng business. Day-to-day activities. Okay po. Activities ng isang organization. So, we help the entity or the management, okay, in overseeing whether the organization is functioning smoothly and whether all the members involved in the organization performing based on their role so that they could achieve, okay, yung ultimate goal po nila. Kadalasan ang ultimate goal naman po is yung to earn profit and minimize cost. Okay po. So, yun po, no? Yun po yung sinasabi lang under organizing and directing and motivating function. Okay. And the next function is the controlling. So, dito naman po, under controlling, basically, we check, okay, whether yung actual result, okay, actual result is equivalent dun sa desired output. Yun po yung tinatawag po natin controlling. Okay, tinitignan lang natin yung performance ng activities against dun sa plan or standard set. Okay? Para nang sa ganun, if there are discrepancies, we make, okay, corrective actions. Corrective actions. So basically, under controlling, dito din papasok yung parang similar function of the audit. Okay? Kasi tinitignan natin, nasunod ba? Okay po. Yung desired output. Ano ba yung desired output? Yan po yung mga plan and standards. Okay po. Na siniset po natin during the planning stage. Okay po. And then, if may discrepancies, edi ang gagawin natin, identify natin ano yung mga issues, why the desired output is not achieved. Okay po. So, gagawin po natin, we will apply corrective actions. Okay po. So that we can still meet yung ultimate objective ng entity, which is to earn profit or to minimize cost. So, kaya kung titignan po natin, no, napaka-crucial nung function ng management accounting. Okay po. So, hopefully, napipicture out nyo siya in totality, how these three functions works. So, let me give you this a simple cycle how the functions or roles of the management accountant helps the businesses. Okay po. So, the management accountant role, accountant. Okay po. Pagdating sa planning stage, okay po, tayo na mismo yung nagsiset ng goal, nag-help. Okay, hindi tayo nagsiset, nag-help na mag-set ng goal. Okay po. And para ma-achieve yung goal na yon, we identify problems, and to solve these problems, we create solutions. Okay po. And from the solutions, we select, okay, the best to address. Okay po. Diyan pa lang po yung sa planning stage po na yan. So basically, in their planning stage, dito na papasok yung tinatawag po nating mga budgets and standards. Okay po. So dito, hindi pa po na-i-implement. Now, after ng planning stage, okay po, magkakaroon ng execution. Tama? Ano yung i-execute nila? Yung solution, yung best solution, okay po, na-identify, okay, yung ng management accountant, na binigay ng management, i-execute ngayon ng management yon. Okay po. So, may responsibility ng execution would be the management. Okay? Pero tayo, as management accountant, hindi natatapos sa planning stage yung role natin. Okay po, ang gagawin natin, from the execution stage, okay po, we oversee whether yung role of the members, okay po, ay ginagawa po nila based doon sa required actions. And once we see na ginagawa naman ng management, even the members, yung role po nila, okay po, syempre dyan papasok yung result nung action po nila. And syempre, okay po, under result, meron din po tayong role dyan, which is, we try to identify whether the result is actually the real or is equivalent to the desired output. Okay po, equivalent ba yan dun sa budgets and standards? So, meaning to say, yung role ng management accountant ay napaka-crucial for the entirety of the operation of business. So, hindi lang po natatapos yung pagbibigay natin, okay po, ng solution from the planning stage. We also have the role to oversee whether the management executed what had been recommended to them. And once overseen, okay po, yung execution, we also try to audit the result if it is actually real. So, ang tawag natin doon sa ganitong field ng profession is management advisory service or services. Yeah. Management advisory services. Ang other term po dito, they also call this as management consulting services. Consulting services. So, or business advisory services, management services. Ayan. Okay po. So, anong ginagawa natin dito as an accountant? Ito po yung nagpo-provide po tayo ng assistance to managers. Assistance to managers. Okay po. So, ayan. Ngayon, ano ba yung mga karakteristik ng management advisory services? Okay po. So, syempre dito, yung service na pinoprovide po ng mga accountants, they are solely for the management. Not for third parties. Unlike sa audit kasi, di ba? Alam natin, ang audit, nagtatrabaho tayo for our clients, pero ang objective natin is to provide an opinion with regards to the financial statements, and yung ating duties and responsibilities should abide what the third party, okay, wants to. So, ano yung mga third parties doon? Yun yung mga public, okay po, yung mga shareholders, creditors. So, sila po yung mga third parties na nangangailangan ng opinion with regards to the financial statements. Pero dito, sa MAS kasi hindi. Okay po, tinutulungan natin si management na magamit yung mga resources po nila to achieve yung kanilang goals and objectives. Okay po. Number 2 is it involves problem solving. Kaya nga, di ba naalala po natin kanina, diniscuss natin yung isa sa mga functions ng management, accountant, is in planning, okay po, we create solutions to address yung mga problems identified. So, yun po yung ibig sabihin po nun, that the characteristic of MAS, okay po, it involves problem solving. Number 3, okay po, yung mga decisions or yung mga services po natin, okay po, it relates to future. Okay? Relates to future. Unlike in financial accounting, di ba? It relates to past transactions. Ang ginagawa lang, okay, tinitignan if yung pag-journalize, yung pag-present sa mga items are properly, okay, presented in the financial statement. Pero dito, hindi. Tinitignan natin ano ba yung pwedeng mangyari in the future so that the entity and the management can achieve their goals and objectives. And next is broader in scope. Mas malawak yung ating trabaho under this because we are not only pertains to the presentation of the financial report. We also have to address yung mga inventory items. Kailan ba bibili ng inventories? Okay, anong period ba yung mas magandang bumili ng inventories? Okay po. And ano pa? Yung mga suppliers, okay? Ano yung best suppliers na pwede po natin pagkuhanan ng mga inventories? Kailan tayo pwede magbayad? Okay po, ng ating payments sa mga inventories. Yun, tinitignan po natin yun. Napakalawak. Pero sa financial accounting kasi, yun, tinitignan lang natin if yung inventory items properly presented doon sa inventory. Part ba siya ng inventory or hindi? Ganun lang sa financial accounting. Sa management, hindi. Mas malawak. Next is it involves varied assignments. O gaya na nabanggit ko po kanina, since broader yung scope, okay po, yung assignment mo niyan or yung output mo, okay, nakadepende siya doon sa need ng management. Okay? Next is yung engagement usually, okay po, engagements are usually non-recurring. Hindi paulit-ulit yung ginagawa mong assignment. Okay po, o yung services na pinoprovide mo. Bakit kaya non-recurring? Kasi syempre, kung meron siyang problema, malamang dahil ikaw yung kinuha niya, na-address mo na yon. Okay po. And then, the next year or the following period, alangan naman same problem ulit yung ma-encounter po nila. O, diba? So, kaya siya non-recurring. Okay po? Kasi ang objective nga natin is we want to solve the problem identified. We want solve, alangan naman na uulitin mo ulit yung ginawa mong services if already solved yung problems na na-identify. Next is engagements. Okay po? Engagement require highly qualified staff. Qualified staff. Bakit kailangan? Kasi po, it involves decision making. Ayan. Okay po. So, kailangan matalino. Hindi naman talino, no? Qualified. Okay po. competent yung tinutukoy po natin dito. Okay po. So, alam talaga ng mga staff yung ginagawa po nila. Next is yung human relations. Okay po. Yung HR play a vital role in each engagement. Ano bang tinutukoy dito? Engage. Meaning to say, okay po, in order for the accountants to provide, okay po, yung necessary, okay, assignment or services needed by the management, kailangan yung human resource, okay po, makapagbigay po siya ng mga necessary staff na kailangan, at saka yung roles and documents kasi na kailangan nila is sila yung isa sa mga needed dito. For example, they want to identify, okay po, how they could reduce yung mga production cost po nila. So, anong gagawin po nila? Siyempre, as management accountant, anong kailangan mong documents? Yung mga raw materials na ginagastos, yung mga direct labor cost na ginagastos. So, dito, as a management accountant, sinong pupuntahan natin? Si HR. Okay po, tatanungin natin, sino ba yung mga involved sa production natin or sa production ng entity? Okay po, sino ba yung mga supervisors dito? Okay po, magkano yung sinasahod ng mga laborers natin? So, yung mga yun. So, basically, the HR has, the role of HR in delivering the management advisory service is very crucial and vital so that, okay, the accountants can give proper recommendations addressing the problems identified. Okay po. So, yun po yung characteristic ng MAS. Now, pag-usapan naman natin yung difference between management accounting and financial accounting. Okay po. So, ano yung pinagkaiba po nila? Pagdating sa management accounting and yung users of report, okay po, ay yung mga internal users. Internal users. Or in short, ito yung mga managements or managers. Managers and officers. Okay po. Unlike sa financial accounting, ang users ng report are the external. Okay po. Yung mga stockholders, creditors, creditors. Okay, at syempre kasama din dito yung mga government agencies. Okay, so ano naman yung purpose ng management accounting? So basically, ang ginagawa natin is we want to provide information to internal users. Okay, so we provide information, okay po, na pwedeng gamitin ng mga managers, okay, in carrying out their functions. Okay, yung functions ng management. Ano ba yung mga yan? Yung planning. Okay po. Controlling. And decision making. Okay po. So, yun yung ginagawa po natin. Under financial accounting naman, okay po. So, ang purpose naman is we want to provide information about the organization. Okay. Organization's financial position. And yung result. Okay. Of the operation. Actually, nabanggit na din natin yung mga ibang purpose, no? Yung isa sa mga pinaka-main purpose ng management accounting, so we basically help the management to carry their functions to achieve their goals and objectives. Pero sa financial accounting kasi, ang purpose lang natin is to provide, okay po, a report with regards to past transactions. Okay po. At yung result of operation, yan tinutukoy po natin is yung profit or loss. Okay? And financial position, yan yung balance sheet natin. Next, anong types of reports ang pinaprovide? O syempre, pagdating sa management accounting, marami. Okay po. Diyan papasok yung mga budgets. Pwede po yun. Okay po. Budgets. Yung cost. Cost accounting or cost analysis. Okay po. Yung mga cost-benefit analysis. Ano pa? Yung standard. Okay po. Standard or variance analysis. Yan. So, yung mga yon, those are the type of reports. So, marami pa. Which is specifically address the need, okay po, of the management. Okay po. So, depende kasi sa pangangailangan ng management, yung report na pinoprovide po natin. Unlike sa financial accounting, okay po, yung report na pinoprovide natin, basically, is the financial statements. Okay? Including yung mga notes na kailangan to provide, okay, or to as an addition doon sa financial statements po natin. Ano naman yung basis ng reporting natin? So, dito sa management accounting, since broad yung scope natin, okay po, it involves, kasama na po dyan yung mga historical, okay, particularly, no, yung mga, kapag gumagamit po tayo ng FS analysis, ayan, historical reports, so kailangan natin, historical data. And likewise, gumagamit din tayo dito ng estimates. Okay, so estimates, and yung mga projections, ayan, projections, yan po yung mga data na kailangan po natin. Okay, historical, estimates, projections, okay po, and other relevant information that is necessary, okay po, to provide, okay, the information needed by the management. Pwede din dito yung mga trends, ayan, yung projections, same lang po siya. Next, for financial accounting naman, okay po, yung reports natin are mostly based on historical data. Historical data. Siyempre, hindi tayo gumagamit ng estimates or projections, okay, unless dun sa note natin, particularly dun sa mga yung mga provisions, and yung mga probable na liabilities, and kailangan kasi sila mga estimates. Pero, naka-base naman po siya sa standard or historical data pa din. Next is yung standards of presentation. Okay po. So, in preparing reports, the management of a company can set rules to produce information most relevant to, okay, a specific needs ng management. Needs of the management. Okay? So, basically, wala tayong talagang standard na sinusundan, na sinet ng mga third-party organizations. Okay po, unlike sa financial accounting kasi, yung standard na sinusundan natin, okay, pwedeng sa GAAP, okay, or PFRS for the Philippine settings. Or, other standards, no? Other standards provided by the procurements of other authoritative accounting policies. Yung accounting bodies natin. Like, for example, yung IASB, yung mga yan. So, IASB. Yan. So, ganun po siya, no? So, ulitin lang natin. Under management accounting, wala talaga tayong standard na sinusundan. So, nakadepende siya doon sa needs ng management. Pero unlike sa financial accounting, meron. Now, reporting entity. Okay po. So, yung focus ng reports natin on the basically is nakadepende po siya. Okay po. Pwedeng doon sa specific business segment. Okay po. Pwedeng departments. Yan. Or pwedeng product line. Okay, lalo na kapag multiple yung mga product na pinoprovide ng entities. Or pwede ding supplier, or customer, no? Pagdating naman sa financial accounting, okay po, ang reporting entity po natin, nire-relate po natin yan sa business, the entire business as a whole. Ayan. Okay po. Ayan. So, ganun po siya. Ngayon, yung period covered. So, eto, nakadepende ulit. Okay? Depends on the specific needs of the management. Okay po. So, hindi po tayo limited for quarterly. Okay po. Yearly. No? Or semi-annually. So, dito pwedeng weekly. Yan. Pwede po siya. No? Kung gusto ng entity, pwedeng monthly. Okay, semi-annual, quarterly, and annually. Okay? Pero dito, yung reports natin usually yearly pagdating sa management, sa financial accounting, or quarterly kasi for tax purposes, or pwede din na monthly basis. Okay? So, yun po yung mga difference nung management accounting and financial accounting. Okay po? So, may mga areas no, na magkaiba po sila. Napag-usapan naman po natin yung concept ng cost accounting. So, si cost accounting is basically the subset, okay, of both management and financial accounting. So, financial accounting. So, yung information natin under cost accounting is actually needed for both the management and financial accounting. So, ano bang ginagawa natin kay cost accounting? So, basically, no, we attempt, okay, to satisfy yung tinatawag po nating costing objectives. This is for both the management accounting and financial accounting. Okay, so yun po. So dito, pinag-aaralan natin how to allocate cost. Okay po. Allocate cost and ano ba yung we also understand here the behavior of cost. So under cost accounting po yan. Okay? So, let's siguro try to relate din si cost accounting kay management accounting in a different aspect. Okay? Because these are both a different work. Okay po. Na ginagawa ng isang accountant. So, let's differentiate cost accounting to management accounting. So, ang inherent meaning ng cost accounting, syempre, pasok dyan po yung tinatawag nating cost computation. Okay, cost computation, cost allocation. Ano pa? Yung cost control. Okay, cost reduction. So, yung mga yan. Okay po. So, umiikot po siya particularly on the cost. Okay? Whereas, pag sinabi naman natin management accounting, so, ito yung pag-help to management, help in the management. Okay po. To better utilize its resources. Okay? Resources achieving its goals and objectives. So, yan po yung inherent meaning. Basically, no, dito tinutulungan lang natin si management, okay, na ma-achieve yung kanilang objective. For application naman, okay po, so, si cost accounting, it prevents yung pag-incur. Okay, it prevents the businesses to incur cost, okay, that is beyond to their budget. Okay, that is beyond to its budget. Okay, And then, pag sinabi naman nating management accounting, o syempre, mas malaki, no? Or mas malawak. Okay po. Bigger in scope. Okay. By providing strategies to management. Okay? And, ang measuring grid natin, under cost accounting, o syempre, quantitative. Bakit? Kasi puro mga, ano po yan mga kapirahan. Ano? Quantity, wrong spelling niya pa. Wait lang. Quantitative. And for management accounting naman, ito, since we are not only focused on financial aspect, we are also discussing here yung mga strategies, tama? So that involves both quantitative data and qualitative. So quantitative and qualitative data. Wrong spelling pala siya kasi wala tayong L. Sorry. Yan. Wait lang. Quanti pala to. Quanti, tama yan. Letter T pala dapat to. Sorry. Ito, quantitative and qualitative. Yan. Pagdating naman sa basis of decision making, syempre si cost accounting, ang basis po natin dyan is actually the historic information or historical information. Parang si financial accounting. Okay? Whereas si management accounting, both historical information and predictive. Okay, so predictive information. So pagdating sa statutory requirement, okay, syempre, yung statutory audit is required. Statutory audit is required pagdating kay cost accounting. Okay, whereas for management accounting, it is not required. Okay. Okay, so dependents. So dito si cost accounting, okay, it is not dependent on management accounting. Okay? Para successful yung implementation natin ng cost accounting. Whereas si management accounting, dependent po yan kay cost accounting and financial accounting. Okay? So dependent for both cost accounting and financial. Okay? Accounting. Kasi nga po, kung titignan natin, okay, isa sa mga basis natin ng decision, historical. O pag historical yan, ibig sabihin, kailangan mo na si cost and financial. Okay? Yan. Kasi sila yung magbibigay sa'yo, no, pagdating doon sa computation, halimbawa ng FS analysis. Diba? So, ano yung requirement na kailangan mo doon para makapagbigay ka ng solvency ratios, ng profitability ratios. Okay po, kailangan mo ng financial statements. So, those are historical data. Okay po, so, and therefore, okay, you are reliant to the financial and even for cost accounting. Na pagdating sa users, okay po, o syempre, pagdating sa cost accounting naman, ang users po niyan, mga management din, okay, or mga shareholders, pwede din po, and as well as the vendors, shareholders and vendors. Okay, unlike kay management accounting, di syempre ang users mo yan, management only, or the officers, yan, management only. So hopefully, no, ayan po yung summary, okay, ng difference between the two. So now, pag-usapan naman natin yung tinatawag po nating controller. or it is actually the chief. Okay, so the chief accounting management or the chief management accounting executive, okay, of an organization who is responsible or mainly responsible for the accounting aspects of management, planning, and control. Ayan. Okay, so basically, no, pag sinabi po nating controller, okay po, it focuses on internal financial operations. Okay, so internal financial operations. Okay, and reporting. Siyempre kasama din po 'yon. And parang ang role po niya is similar po sa isang architect. Okay, the role of a controller is similar to the role of an architect of financial integrity and insights. Tayo? Kasi sa mga function or responsibilities ng isang controller is planning for control. Okay po, pag sinabi nating planning for control, to establish, coordinate, and administer as an integral part of management, okay, an adequate plan for control of the operation. So, meaning to say, okay, a controller oversee, okay, yung budgeting and performance evaluation system. Evaluation system. So, yun po yung tinutukoy po or yun yung ibig sabihin ng planning for control. Okay. And number 2 is reporting and interpreting. Ano sinasabi doon? They compare performance with operating plans and standards and to report and interpret the results of operations to the concerned users of such report. So under this responsibility, no, management accountant prepares, okay, so they prepares internal financial reports that, okay, necessarily or that could not be necessarily based on the accounting standards, okay, and the report explains, okay, their implication to their goals and objectives. Okay po, yung internal financial reports na yan, they're only exclusive for the use of the management and cannot be used, okay po, to represent the entirety of the business. And take note, sabi ko nga po sa inyo, the users of management accounting is purely for the management only. Okay, kaya yung mga pine-prepare po nilang mga financial report, they are addressed, okay po, and they are based on what the management needs. Okay? Next is yung evaluating and consulting. So, pag sinabi nating evaluating and consulting, the consult with all levels of management responsible for policy or action concerning any phase of the operation of the business as it relates to the attainment of objectives and effectiveness of policies, organizational structures, and procedures. So, in simple terms, okay po, a controller advises management on financial decisions. Okay? And policy. So, yun yung isa sa mga role, okay po, ng isang controller pagdating kay management. Nagbibigay tayo ng advice, okay, with regards to their financial decisions and policy. Next, okay po, another function ng isang controller is yung tax administration. Anong sinasabi dito? To establish and administer tax policies and procedures. Meaning to say, it ensures that the entity complies, okay? Ensures compliance with tax regulations. Okay po. O, yun lang po yung ibig sabihin po niyang tax administration na yun. And next is yung tinatawag po nating government reporting. So dito, sinasabi niya, it supervise, coordinate the preparation of reports to the government agencies. So the controller also manages, okay, yung mga regulatory filings, okay, and disclosures needed by other government agencies. Okay, sino yung mga government agencies niyan? O syempre, pasok dyan si BIR, okay? Which in relate to your tax administration. Pwede din si SEC, especially if you are a publicly listed company. Sino pa? O yung mga other agencies na kailangan mag-report. Okay po. So, BIR, SEC, DTI, pwede din. Okay po. So, other government agencies that needs, okay po, yung mga financial requirement from the entity. Next function is yung protection of assets. So, ang isa sa mga ginagawa po ng controller is to assure protection for the assets of business through internal control, internal audit, and assuring proper insurance coverage. So, basically, a controller implements, okay, internal controls to safeguard yung mga tinatawag po nating resources. Okay, yung mga resources ng entity. Okay, so hopefully nababasa niyo pa po yung mga sinusulat ko. Pero sinasabi ko naman po yung mga sinusulat ko. Next, kay economic appraisal. Ang tinutukoy naman dito, a controller continuously appraise economic and social forces and yung mga government influences and to interpret their effect upon the business. Anong tinutukoy nito? Sinasabi lang that the controller, okay, in terms of economic appraisal is responsible, okay, to assess yung mga financial viability, okay, of projects and investments. In layman's term, okay po, ang sinasabi lang dito, a controller helps the management to assess yung mga investments po, whether they could give, okay, an economic benefit rather than a loss. Okay? So, yun po yung ibig sabihin ng economic appraisal dito. So, yung role po is often aligned with management accounting, wherein it provides data for internal decision making and yung strategic planning. Okay, so now let's discuss din, okay po, yung isa pang role na connected to the management accounting, which is the role of treasurer. Okay, so kung kanina po, kung babalikan lang natin yung definition po ng controller, sabi niya dito, okay, the chief management account executive who is mainly responsible for accounting aspects and management planning and control. Basically, ito po yung mga internal financial operations and reporting. So, it focuses on the internal aspect. Whereas, si treasurer, okay po, it manages yung mga organization, okay, financial relationships. Okay, so relationships and liquidity. And therefore, okay, so this role is more on external, okay, or externally oriented. Okay, so dito papasok ngayon yung role niya, focusing more on the capital and financial risk. Si controller, basically, ang ginagawa po niya, okay, it helps the management how to manage their resources effectively that is aligned to their budget. Whereas si treasurer, okay, it helps the management to raise capital, okay, and funds and to assist yung mga financial risk to better execute, okay, yung mga plans, okay, and yung mga strategies set by the management, okay po, to better achieve their goals and objectives. So, ano ba yung mga key responsibilities ng isang treasurer? O syempre, dyan papapasok yung tinatawag nating provision of capital. So, dito, sinasabi lang, okay po, that the treasurer secures yung mga funding And saan nanggagaling yung fund? Pwedeng through equity, through debt, or pwedeng other instrument. Okay po. And then, another role is yung to secure investment relations. Okay po. So dito, it maintains yung communication between investors and creditors. Okay? Or other stakeholders. And another responsibility ng isang treasurer is yung tinatawag po nating banking and custody. Okay po. So basically, ang ginagawa lang po ng isang treasurer is they oversee, okay, yung tinatawag po nating cash management. Okay? Yeah. And as well as yung mga banking relationships. And another role is yung tinatawag po nating credit. Okay. Credits and collection. Wherein, treasurer basically manages yung accounts receivable, no? Yung AR mo, and yung mga credit policies. They also need to monitor. Okay, like for example, the entity wants to use loan from other banks. Okay po, o syempre to assure whether they could benefit from applying for a loan, o syempre si treasurer ang tutulong. Okay, ma-assess yung mga credit policies ng different banks. Okay po, and which better to have a loan to different banks, or maybe they could not use other means para makapag-raise ng funds. And dito din papasok, or isa sa mga role din is yung tinatawag po nating investments. Okay, wherein they handles yung mga surplus. Okay, yung surplus funds and yung mga investment portfolios. So sila din po yun. And then, lastly, is yung insurance. So, insurance role, meaning to say, they basically ensures the entity has an adequate coverage. Okay? Nangalin, dun sa mga organizational risk. Okay, so yun po. So, ito yung mga role ng isang treasurer. So, in summary, yung the key difference between controller and treasurer lies on their specific areas of expertise and focus. So, si controller, ang concern niya is all about maintaining yung accurate financial records. And the controller also ensures compliance. Whereas si treasurer, ang focus niya is more on the cash flow management, yung investment, and as well as the financial decision making. So basically, it's like accounting, it's like comparing the meticulous work of an accountant to the strategic mindset of an investment guru. Okay, so ganun po yung role ng dalawang ito. But both are important, okay, in providing information for the management. Okay, so napag-usapan naman natin, like for example, nag-graduate ka na. Okay po, naging CPA ka na din. And then, instead na pumasok ka sa assurance service, pumasok ka sa management, okay, consultancy service. So, ang tawag sa'yo, management accountant. So, are there any certificates na pwede mong makuha aside from the CPA license? Certificates. Yes. The answer is yes. So, syempre, yung pinaka-sikat dito is yung tinatawag po nating CMA, or also known as the Certified Management Accountant. Okay po. So, sa CMA, program po yan for management accountants, okay, design para ma-recognize yung mga unique skills po nila, okay, understanding po nila yung high standards and yung professional expertise na meron sila pagdating sa management accounting. So, kapag mag-exam ka lang, may examination po ito. I think it is level 1, level 2, level 3. Parang kailangan mo siyang ipasa within 3 years, parang gano'n. So, sino yung nagpapa-exam nito? Well, in US, alam ko, ang nagko-conduct po ng CMA program is yung Institute, IMA, yan, tawag po sa kanya, or Institute of Management Accountants. Okay, siya po yung kilala, largest US professional organization ng management accountants. How about in the Philippines? Meron ba? Yes. Actually, si PAMA. Yan, yung acronym po niya. Ito naman si Philippine Association of Management Accountants. So, siya naman po yung nagko-conduct po ng CMA program dito sa Philippines. Okay po. So, basically, this is a continuing arm ng PIMA. Yeah. Or yung tinatawag po nating Philippine Institute of Management Accountants. And PAMA is also an affiliate to IMA, or yung Institute of Management Accountants. So, basically, si PAMA, siya po yung Philippine counterpart, ng IMA. Okay, so ano ba yung objectives ng program na to? Meron po siyang 4 objectives. So, ano yung mga yon? O, syempre, number 1 is to establish yung management accounting. Okay po. As a recognized profession in the field of business. Okay, so establish MA as a field of profession. And number 2, this is to encourage yung stricter and high quality education standard. Okay po, in management accounting. So parang ano lang din yan sa assurance, di ba? Hindi ka pwedeng pumirma ng audit report kung hindi ka CPA. Kasi kapag CPA license ka, it only shows that your work is quality. O ganun din po sa atin in management accounting. Since you are providing informations and reports to management, para masabing competent ka, so dapat you also have this CMA certification. Okay pa. So, pero not necessarily, kapag management accounting, hindi naman kailangan na CMA ka talaga. Pero they really acknowledge kapag certified management accountant ka. Number 3, is to provide yung objectives. Okay, provide objective means. Objective means, for measuring management accountant knowledge. And competence. So, sinasabi lang dyan, isa sa mga objective po ng examination or ng certification is at least, di ba, kapag nakapasa ka ng CMA, it only shows that you are actually qualified to become a management accountant. And your knowledge is far more deeper than the ordinary accountants. Parang ganun. So, may exemption. Kasi CMA ka parang ganun. Okay po, and number 4 is to encourage yung continuing development. Or continued professional growth. Okay po. Siyempre, kapag CPA ka kasi, yun na yung highest CPA. Pero, dito sa Philippines. Pero, I think, mas tinitingala na ngayon yung kapag CMA ka. Kasi yun, recognize siya not only here in the Philippines, but also outside. Okay po. So, pag nalaman nila CMA ka, so, ibig sabihin, you can work in the management accountant from international companies. So, now let's talk about cost behavior. So, naalala natin kanina, we discussed yung different classification of cost. And there are types or categories ng type of cost depending dun sa kung anong aspect po siya. So, dito, balikan lang natin. Pag sinabi natin cost behavior, basically, it talks about how cost is affected, no, by the changes in the cost drivers. Yan. So, ganun po siya. Now, there are different types of cost. So, ano yung mga yon? Or as to behavior. Okay po. So, number 1, alam naman na po natin to, fixed cost. Okay? And number 2 is yung tinatawag po natin variable cost. Okay, so anong pinagkaiba ng dalawa? O, syempre, para ma-differentiate po natin sila, let's talk about the two, okay, with regards to total cost incurred, okay, and the unit cost incurred. So, sa fixed cost po, pag sinabi nating fixed cost, sa total cost po siya, okay, does not change. Does not change. Okay? Whereas sa variable cost, okay, it varies. And yung kanyang pagbago ay direct. Okay? Meaning to say, it is direct in relation to the activity level or the number of units produced. Pwedeng ganon. So, the more na tumataas, okay, yung activity level or yung units produced, anong nangyayari sa total cost under variable cost? Okay po, nag-i-increase din. Okay? Yung total cost na variable. Okay? And same goes kapag bumaba yung activity level or yung units produced, ang nangyayari naman sa total cost, bumababa din. Okay? Unlike kay total fixed cost, whether increase or decrease in the activity level or yung units produced, okay po, constant pa din po siya. Okay? So, yun po yung pinagkaiba ko nila with regards to total cost. Now, let's talk about the unit cost. Since si fixed cost, hindi nagbabago yung total niya, yung unit cost niya, meron siyang tinatawag na inverse, okay, relationship. Bakit inverse? Kasi the more na tumataas yung activity level or yung units produced, anong nangyayari? Mas marami ngayon yung nag-absorb ng cost. And therefore, yung fixed cost per unit ay bumababa. Okay, yung fixed cost per unit. And the more naman na, okay, kapag bumaba naman yung activity level or yung units produced, ano nangyayari sa fixed cost? So, tumataas naman. Bakit? Kasi konti na lang yung nag-absorb ng fixed cost. Sa variable cost naman, okay, same siya doon sa fixed cost with regards to total cost. Bakit? Kasi it is constant. Okay, it is constant per unit. Okay, so regardless whether mag-increase or mag-decrease yung activity level natin o yung units produced, ang variable cost per unit natin ay constant. Okay? And another type ng cost, okay, as to behavior, is yung tinatawag po nating mixed cost. Okay, so mixed cost, meron po siyang component ng fixed and ng variable. Okay? So, yan po yung cost behavior po. So, now pag-usapan naman natin yung cost behavior assumptions. So, under the aspect of cost behavior, there are two assumptions involved, no? So, number 1 is yung tinatawag nating relevant range assumption. So, anong sinasabi dito? Okay. Pag sinabi nating relevant range, ito po yung span of activity. Okay, na kung saan yung ating cost pattern is valid. Okay? Yan. Or yung cost behavior natin is valid. Now, outside of the relevant range, ang mangyayari na nun, or ito yung mga activities, pag yung activities natin outside the relevant range, magiging invalid na yung cost pattern po natin. Okay? So, ganun po siya. In economics, pag sinabi nating relevant range, I don't know, no? Just search for it. Pero as far as I remember, meron tayong concept ng ceteris paribus. Ayan. Ganyan natin, pag sinabi natin ceteris paribus, okay, relevant range po yun. Or as long as it is within, okay, the valid activity. Next is yung tinatawag po nating time period assumption. So under time period assumption, okay, yung cost behavior patterns, okay, they are identified through only, okay, over specified period of time. Over specified period of time. So beyond the period of time of that, no, yung identified period of time, yung behavior po niya may indicate a different behavior. Okay po, so ganun po siya. Yun yung tinatawag nating time period assumption. Una is yung relevant range, and number 2 is time. So ibig sabihin may restrictions, no, doon sa pag-identify po natin ng cost, no, with regards to cost behavior. Now, for the last concept to discuss under cost concepts and analysis, no? So, previously, we identified one of the type ng cost as to behavior is yung tinatawag nating mixed cost. Tama? Which composes of fixed cost, okay, fixed and variable. Now, the question here is, how can we segregate, okay, yung mixed cost? Kasi kailangan natin dapat mapaghiwalay yung fixed cost and variable cost. Okay? So, there are 3 methods na pwede po nating gamitin. So, ano yung mga yon? Number 1, pinaka-common and basic is yung tinatawag po nating high-low method. Okay, so high or low. Yung iba, high-low points method ang ginagamit. So, dito, there are tabular. Okay po. So, ang ginagawa mo lang is, we basically get the activity level, and as well as their corresponding total costs incurred. So, ang gagawin mo lang, under high-low method, is we simply get it to data points. Wherein, yung one data doon is the high data points. And yung isa doon is the highest pala. No? Highest and the lowest. Okay, so lowest data points. Pero, you have to take note, no? Yung mga tinatawag po nating outliers. Because in our dataset, outliers should be removed. Okay? So, ganun po. Yun yung high-low method. So, ang formula natin dyan is to get yung variable cost, okay, or yung variable cost per unit, is we simply get the activity level, okay, with under the highest, okay, point minus the lowest, okay, palitan natin yung sorry, baliktad, okay. So, yung total cost pala, total cost ng highest point less total cost ng lowest point all over, okay, activity level ng highest points minus activity level ng lowest points. Okay po. And then, para makuha si A, ang gagawin mo lang is simply you can use the cost formula. Ano ba yung cost formula natin? Yun yung A To get the A is simply use the cost formula. Y is equal to A plus BX. Okay, so to get the A, algebraic formula, edi transpose mo to, and then transpose mo to. So, A is equal to, para mag-positive yun, di ba? Ito Y minus BX. Yan siya. And, alam natin, itong mga points na yan, okay po, ito, basically, is your Y. Yan. Yung total cost. And ito naman will be your X. Ganun po siya. So, ayun po, no? Yan yung high-low method. Next is yung method is yung tinatawag po nating statistical scatter graph. Scatter graph method. So basically, under this method, magpa-plot ka lang dun sa ano natin. Okay. Ganyan. Tapos magpa-plot lang po siya ng mga points, ng mga total cost ng activity. Ganyan po siya. And then, gagawa ka lang ng cost lang. Scatter graph method yon. In-identify mo lang kung ano yung, kung saang points yung magmi-meet. Okay. Doon sa y-axis natin and x-axis. So, para ma-identify mo yung fixed and variable cost. Pero, syempre, hindi na natin gagawin to. Wala naman natin problem solving with regards to statistical graphical method. Next is last. Okay. Ito pa yung tinatawag nating least square. Least square method. Or ito yung tinatawag ng regression analysis. Okay. Regression analysis. Okay, so ito, gumagamit ka ng table din. Okay, meron tayong two equations dito. Yung equation number 1, okay po, para hindi ka na, para mas madali yung pag-memorize, ganito mo siya i-memorize, ano? A na Bex. Okay? So, ito, yung ano pala, palitan natin. Yan. A na Bex. Okay, yung equation number 2 natin is XC, AX, and Bex2. Bex2. Ayan. So, same pa din. Y is your equal to your total cost. Okay, X is your variable or your activity level. Activity level. And A is your fixed cost and B is your variable cost. So, similar yung datas natin from the high-low method. Pero ang pinagkaiba, hindi natin ina-identify kasi yung highest and lowest points. Under least square method, kailangan natin makuha itong mga to, summations. Okay? Summations of y, summation of xy, okay? Summation of x, summation of x squared. Okay po? So, ganun po siya. Pag sinabi nating summations, ito total mo lang lahat. Okay, dito, pag summation of y, so ito total mo lang lahat yung total costs based doon sa different activity levels. Summation of xy, so simply, ang gagawin mo lang, yung activity level, i-multiply mo siya doon sa total cost. Gagawin mo siya every activity level or every dataset. Tapos, isasum mo lang lahat yung mga yun. Okay? And then, ito naman, yung ganun din, for summation of x, yun lang, add mo lang din yung mga activity level. And summation of x squared, so ito, i-multiply mo siya sa sarili niya. Okay? And then, isum mo lang din po yun. Okay? So, ganun po siya. Okay? Pwede mong, ang approach dito, para ma-compute mo si B, okay, meron siyang formula, no? Pero, ako, mas prefer ko gumamit ng tinatawag natin na kasing tawag doon
Nakalimutan ko, no? Pero, ang ginagawa ko lang, si B, ginagamit ko yung equation 1 at equation 2. Okay po? Tapos, elimination approach. Yung tawag doon. Elimination approach. So, anong ginagawa ko? Eh di yung equation 1 minus equation 2. Ganun lang siya. Pero, I want, before I subtract the two equations, kailangan merong isang variable na mawawala. It's either si B yung mawawala or si A yung mawawala. Ganun po siya. Okay? So, ganun pala siya. Hindi si B yung kinukuha ko yan. Elimination approach, tapos ito yung ginagawa ko. Tapos ito, pwedeng si B yung makukuha mo or pwedeng si A yung makukuha mo. So, depende yan doon sa equation na given sa atin. Okay? So, turo ko naman sa inyo kung paano kunin yan. Okay po. Using yung mga illustrative example po natin. So, those are the concepts that necessary to learn before answering our illustrative examples.